am so excited to be back. I'm back. I'm gonna try to be back consistently. What's up, everyone? It's your girl, Asia Marshall. Welcome back to my channel, or rather, I should say, I'm happy to be back. Asia, welcome back to your own channel. It's been so long. Life. And honestly, I plan on getting into all of that and just catching you all up on things and hopefully connecting with y'all in the comments, whoever is watching. Yeah, it's just great to be back and have conversations and kind of just have a space that is my own little, circle of the internet to just express thoughts on all the things and get into conversations and share and be in dialogue with you all. But today's video, I am talking about something that just inspired me. I went with some of my friends to the California African American Museum in Los Angeles near USC, and they were hosting the Black Con Comics Festival. It was so cool. Think Comic-Con, but it's for Black comics and comic books and writers and artists and illustrators. It was incredible, and I specifically went because Ryan Coogler was there. Yes, you heard correctly, Ryan Coogler, the director, creator of Black Panther and Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever. He was there. The man was there doing the things, and he was in conversation with Covington, screenwriter and novelist of Black Panther, Long Live the King. So two incredible voices. They are movers and shakers in today's society and culture. I mean, also, it's like Ryan Coogler. Aaron, we love you, but just knowing and being familiar with the work that Ryan has done, I had to show up, So I went with some of my friends. It was an incredible space. First of all, the California African American Museum is an incredible museum dedicated to the research, the exhibition, the preservation, and education of just African American art. It's just amazing. They have so many exhibits of wonderful Black African American artists, and it's free. It is a free space. They also do like workshops, stuff for kids, things on the weekends, like Comic-Cons, little festivals and things. It's a really cool space, a great vibe, and it's just so beautiful. I've only been there once before, and this was my second time, and I'm still learning and learning about the space and just having the opportunity to explore it. They have this beautiful lobby area, and that's connected to all the exhibits, and that's where they had this workshop. It is this huge open space, and they had a stage set up right in the center, and that's where Aaron and Ryan were speaking.
He was Italian, Puerto Rican in the film. The character who we played, the actor that played him was Puerto Rican, Gabriel Rosado, actual Washington.
And it was about like an hour long, but it was so cool because it was just an intimate space. And I know myself personally, I love to watch interviews of like directors and artists and actors and just people that I look up to and are inspired by when it comes to their art and their craft and however they make their impact in this world. And Ryan, I do watch his interviews, but I haven't seen long ones where I feel like he's just in conversation, and this was an opportunity to kind of see that, but also of course get more in depth because he's being asked these questions and he's amongst the community, and the way he's able to open up is you think it would be amazing, and it absolutely was. So getting into the things that they talked about, let's do it. First of all, of course they talked Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, because that just came out. Everyone's super hype about it. It is still blowing up the box office around the world. But they talked about so many things too. Well, first of all, they went to USC together. When Ryan went for his master's in filmmaking at USC, that's when he met Aaron. and they of course kind of vibed. You know, it's a predominantly white institution, and seeing another person, another black man who looks like you know, it's just that connection, and just having that person to build community with that can relate to your situation. They were like, all right, well, we'll hang out, we'll do the things, but they really clicked. They clicked over comic books, they clicked over just like definitely comics, but like artistry in that way. And it was a really beautiful story, and just kind of hearing like how they bonded. But then also, given the context of the time, Marvel was just introducing their cinematic universe. So they said that they went to see Iron Man together, and they saw some of those early films and kind of seeing how Marvel was building things out. So it's like crazy to know that they were forming the foundation of their friendship while literally their big break and just their future in this industry was also like building its foundation. It was literally mind-blowing. I could not believe that was their story, so that was really incredible. They also talked about Ryan's background and his accomplishments at USC. Locks was a short film that he made that did very well. I remember watching it years ago, and I was obsessed. I was like, man, this guy is so talented. And, obviously the rest is history, but they talked a little bit about their background, but then they went into Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. And no spoilers. So this film, just based on the trailer, it's just interesting because we introduce another community of color. And in the film, we already know that this community of color is gonna be the villain in a way, but the interaction that they have with Wakanda is, there's tension there. It's like you have these two communities who are, essentially fighting each other, but they also happen to be communities of color. So in the conversation, they did talk about the themes of violence and the themes of just migration, and I would also kind of stretch to say the effects of colonialism. That wasn't said specifically, but there's just so many layers. And they talked about how Ryan specifically, he is very sensitive and particular when it comes to, working or like writing about violence and stuff. He doesn't like to do it. Like everyone kind of laughed, but he even said he'll have families who will say, oh, I took my niece or my nephew to go see it. And he's like, oh no, like, just knowing that he has like, moments in there where there's like fighting and combat and violence. And so it was interesting to hear him say that, because it's also a superhero movie. Like, you're literally, there's going to be fighting, especially in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, given the history of the films that they've done. But I think on a deeper level, he was also kind of speaking to the, black and brown violence and how these communities were clashing with each other. But I'd say it also lends to the theme of migration that he was talking about as well, where just understanding that, these communities in some way had to be affected by, the white power structures in play that were essentially trying to get their resources. And on a broader level in real life, that has happened, colonialism. So it was just interesting, like hearing him have those conversations and really just answer some of the questions that I think a lot of us had, just thoughts about the movie and how it was made, and thinking about these themes and thinking about the story and how it's going to play out, especially knowing like we did see those communities fighting, but how is that going to play out in later movies, and what is their relationship going to turn into? So I will say, like, Ryan, I will say he definitely knows what he's doing. Like I believe and I know that he will tell the story in a way that is responsible when it comes to understanding like who the audience is. It's not just for the Black community. You know, there are also many different communities watching this. So while, you know, people of color and the Black community may understand the nuances of what he's getting at when we have these two communities of color, you know, fighting against each other, other communities may not understand those nuances. They might just see Black people and brown people fighting, which, you know, we don't want that narrative just out there in the world. But hearing what he had to say and knowing, he even said, you know, there's a lot of thinking that goes into these stories and how they come together, and understanding what people are going to be watching when they see these films, and understanding what's communicated. So there are so many layers, but it was a really good conversation. One of the things I love most about this event, and also other events like this, is like when you get, you know, a really prominent figure like this, someone who has made such a huge impact with their craft, what they've done, who are continuing to do that in that way, but then you get them in this small, intimate space, you know, where they're away kind of from cameras. It's just, you know, they can speak more freely. There's time to dig into topics that we may have heard them hint at in other interviews, but haven't had the time to really express their opinions, especially when it comes to Ryan and knowing that he created Black Panther, you know, being a strong Black figure, especially within the Black community, amongst like Black people. It was so cool and so incredible. And I think like this space really gave him an opportunity to kind of dive in and open up, especially connecting with his family, really. Aaron is like a peer. I'm guessing family, because they go way back at this point. So it was just such a cool opportunity. I love moments like that, and I was so inspired just to come and share that with y'all. But I do believe that the link to the whole talk is on the California African American Museum YouTube channel. So I'm gonna go ahead and find that and link that in the video in the description box below, because it is so cool. If you're into movies, or if you just like Black Panther and you wanna just hear Ryan talk about the behind the scenes of that film, get into it, because it was a really good talk, and the movie is so good. But that's it, y'all. I am so happy to be back. I hope to make more videos, especially in this new year. I, you know, love to make vlogs and talk about movies and TV, but I mean, you'll probably see some artsy stuff too. I'm a little bit of a performer at heart. But you know, travel, lifestyle stuff, the whole thing, the whole shebang. But yeah, it's good to be back, and I look forward to connecting with y'all very soon. Until next time.